I want to get your quick reaction to what's happening in our state of Texas. The Democrats decided to take their candy and leave instead of actually voting on the bill.
Yeah, that's pretty absurd. And the whole objective of these laws is to ensure that we make it easier for us to vote but difficult for us to cheat. By simply requiring an ID, restricting this mass mail-in ballots and restricting ballot harvesting is actually a pretty low bar for us to achieve a free and fair election. And as a black person, the insinuation that we can't get ID to vote is actually ridiculous. We have to have an ID to do anything basic in this country, and the sanctity of our ballot box should be paramount on our objective to make sure that we have a free and fair election. But let me give you a little example about what inconvenience means to me. Inconvenience, particularly on a day like Memorial Day, are brave men that were wading in waist-high deep water on the beaches of Normandy into a barrage of machine gun fire. And these brave men and women have done this for generations to ensure that we can have a free and fair election. And anybody that does not want to see that, I believe, does not believe in our Constitution.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, Wesley, and especially when you talk about the voter ID and the fact that they say that race is part of the reason why we should, not have a voter ID. Somehow, black and brown people can't, get an ID card. It's completely ludicrous. Here's what Joe Biden had to say about Senate Bill 7 on Saturday. Texas legislators put forth a bill that joins Georgia and Florida in advancing a state law that attacks the sacred right to vote. It's part of an assault on democracy that we've seen far too often this year, and often disproportionately targeting black and brown Americans. It's wrong and un-American. What would you say to Joe Biden following those comments?
Yeah, that could not be further from the truth. I think every red-blooded American should want to see a free and fair election. And what the Democrats are proposing right now is actually H.R. 1 that federalizes our election process, taking away this process from our states. It actually bans voter ID, and it gives tax-paying dollars to Democrat candidates against your will. Now that's what I would propose to President Biden. And I would say, now, is that constitutional or not? And I would obviously say that is obviously not. But we should want to see these improvements made in our process to know that when we walk into that ballot to vote for our future leadership, it's going to count, it's going to be legit, it's going